And then I told him I vibe coded it with Codex and Claude. He laughed as I watched the conversation die. Everyone's optimizing for a world that's shrinking, when they should be building in the one that's growing. Insights from this year's AWS Summit in New York City told me as much. Now, let's back up a bit, because that isn't the whole story. Honestly, I had a great time. Hundreds of booths, the whole floor was humming. I wasn't there for swag bags, although who can resist free stuff? So, this is all the stuff that I got from AWS Summit 2026. I wanted to talk to the people who build the infrastructure I actually use. All the big companies were there, putting their best foot forward. Real innovation, the kind of thing that's just a concept until it's running live in front of you. Almost all of it was AI and agentic work. Agents running multi-step jobs on their own, MCP servers wiring tools together, whole observability layers built just to watch the agents do their work. These concepts aren't new to me. I've known about these for months now. Take the need for observability layers. When I was working on my app, I built one for myself called Thought Seized, and that helped me better visualize the who, what, when, and where of my agentic workflow. It just felt intuitive at the time. Anthropic had a presentation about autonomous-SDLC that caught my attention. Put simply, the agent gets a command, runs the code, executes the tests, see what failed, refactors, fixes it, and then loops again. If you've been paying attention, that's basically the Ralph loop on steroids. And this sounds like the perfect job for Fable, if and when they release it again. The agent view becomes more like a command tower. Work happens in the background, and then you get pulled back in when the system needs a decision or when it hits a review checkpoint. Then there's the memory layer. The agent remembers the shape of the project, the architecture, the coding style, everything. So the second loop starts with more context than the first one. The tools were starting to look more like an autonomous development infrastructure in the style of OpenClaw. Here's something that I noticed. Nearly all of it was pitched at experienced engineers. The assumption, baked into the whole floor, was that you already knew how to build, and now you're bolting agents on top of your project. It's a little funny to me, because the people squeezing the most out of these models right now might not be who they thought. I struck up conversations with the experienced engineers themselves, the ones walking the floor like I was. The seasoned people who'd been at this for years, experts in their field. What do you actually think about vibe coding? Does it bother you? A lot of them surprised me. They were unexpectedly supportive, genuinely. What I heard from them was this. The thing that separates the people who make it from the people who don't was never raw engineering skill. It's the idea. How good it is, how robust it is, and whether you've got the drive to push through it all. Skills you can pick up. Taste and persistence you either bring or you don't. That stuck with me, because it's the opposite of the gate everyone assumes is there, until an encounter with a database company curbed my positivity. Picture this. Their whole identity is throughput. Millions of operations a second. The engineering is genuinely impressive. When I saw their booth description, I was seriously interested. Their pitch got me because Card Arbiter, my collectible SaaS, could be one of their large-scale e-commerce customers one day. I walked up as a real prospect, not a tourist. The rep was sharp. The first thing he asked was what my stack was. That's a good question and something I could answer from a high level, so I told him. The engine is local, with Terso as the multi-tenant database. Terso's clever, he said, and he meant it. For about 4 seconds we were having a real conversation. And then I told him I vibe coded it with Codex and Claude. He laughed as I watched the conversation die. He gave me the line, "We can talk when you need 1,000,000 ops in throughput. Eyes already on the next badge." And that's what stuck with me. He understood me perfectly. He just decided it didn't count. Here's the thing though. He wasn't wrong about his database. It's fast, and it's built for a problem that certain companies actually have. He just answered a question I never asked. I don't need 1,000,000 operations a second. Most people building right now don't. And here's the part he couldn't have known. I spent years on a data center infrastructure side. I know exactly what 1,000,000 ops cost, who actually needs it, and how rare that is. He dismissed someone who used to live on the other side of that number. He sized me for peak load, but on the contrary, I'm part of a niche that's getting bigger every single day. To be fair, most of the floor wasn't like that. Most vendors were great, curious, helpful, generous with their time. I actually considered this particular vendor to be very generous with his. But even the friendly ones had one eye on the next customer. You could feel the sorting happening in real time. Real buyer or hobbyist? Enterprise account or the guy who vibe coded their solutions? And I get it. It's a sales floor. The job is to find the whale, not to mentor the minnow. That's not malice. That's just their reality. But it tells you exactly where the focus is right now. The reflex to rank people by scale, by headcount, by whether you're a real engineer. That reflex hasn't caught up to what's actually happening on the ground. What's actually happening is people are shipping real, working software on $20 a month in a local first engine, alone, without permission from the gatekeepers of knowledge. The vibe coders they laugh off is half their customer base in 2 years, scaling up, picking the solutions that treated them seriously. They're optimizing for a world that's shrinking. I'm building in the one that's growing. If you've ever been written off for how you build, drop it in the comments. Were they right? Subscribe if you want to follow me on this journey. Until then, keep building.